And for Oregon, Erin Boley coming off a great first-round game where this young lady was so active on the offensive end. She is so physically gifted. Oregon's going to need her to come up big today.
Scores in a variety of ways. Number 21 in the black today, and we are underway. Oregon with those dark uniforms, Georgia in the white. Now, off the opening tap, it's going to be Ducks possession. By the way, anytime Dee Cantor is on a game, we're in good hands. It's Dee, Carla Fountain, Tyler Trimble, our officiating crew today, inside the Alamo Dome.
And Kevin, one key to watch for UGA is how do they defend the multitude of on-ball screens that Oregon's going to set throughout the game.
First jumpers from Sedona Prince. That's short. This is the Capital One starting 5 for Georgia. Q Morrison has turned into a nice scorer of late with the first bucket. Absent from that starting lineup, Gabby Connolly. She's going to come off the bench for a second straight game. Not quite 100%, still working her way back from an injury she suffered before the NCAA tournament. And of course, Joni Taylor leads the way, the SEC Coach of the Year. And Oregon pounding the inside early on.
Well, and don't be surprised to see Oregon play some man, play some matchup zone. Here you see them setting in that 2-3 matchup. My assumption is that they're going to try to make Georgia beat them from the outside.
And here's the first triple. Maya Caldwell offline. That's Jenna Stady, who was able to secure the offensive rebound, and a new 20 for Georgia. Mid-range J. Coombs can't hit. Starting 5 for Oregon, brought to you by Capital One. You saw Prince, the 6'7" post player, hit the first jumper. But it's Boley, number 21 in the black, who turned in that sterling performance for Kelly Graves, who went for 22 in the opening round win against South Dakota. That's a pretty good record, by the way, in the tournament, 11-3. Oregon has advanced in this tournament each of their last 4 appearances. That's including this one.
Well, off the out of bounds, you see UGA setting that 1-3-1, a quick trap in the corner to force the turnover. Kevin, this is a change for UGA this year. Q Morrison really running a lot of point, and as you mentioned, Gabby Connolly coming off the bench, so that really falls on Q Morrison to run this team from the offensive perspective.
She's the senior from Georgia. Was also excellent in the Lady Bulldogs opening round win against Drexel.
Well, I think Lady Dog fans are going to tell you she's been excellent all season long. She's finally healthy. She's always been a great defender, but you're seeing the offense pick up for her this season. And that's something for Oregon that you're excited about. Taylor Mixell being able to knock it down from deep.
Doesn't feel like we've got that strength on strength? It's Oregon's very efficient offense against this defense for Georgia that is vexing at times, you outlined earlier.
Absolutely, and you're talking about an Oregon team that's one of the tops in taking care of the basketball on offense versus UGA, who wants to try to turn them over.
Well, there's Michaela Coombs, got the friendly role, who is starting in place of Connolly again for his second straight game.
Yeah, Coombs is the UConn transfer, so quick, disruptive on defense. A lot of her points earlier in the season was coming off her defense. Now really settling in, being able to nail that pull-up jumper.
It's an offensive foul on Niera Sabali. First personal.
Jordan Isaacs is the glue player for UGA on defense. There moves her feet to draw the charge on Sabali. Got knocked so hard she fell out of her shoes.
Well, Sabali is certainly the force inside for Oregon on both sides. Leads the Ducks in scoring, and credit Isaacs is now Sabali with a personal just a few minutes in. This is Caldwell again. It's a long 2. That's down.
Maya Caldwell just had an unbelievable SEC tournament, named to the all-tournament team for UGA. only averaging about 8 points on the season, but currently in the last 5 games, up to 15.
It seems like everybody for Georgia has just taken its play up a notch. A turnover on the interior. Lady Bulldogs made that run to the SEC title game. The 3 seed, their highest in 14 years in this tournament.
Well, I think it's the byproduct of having 4 seniors who have started the majority of this season, a very veteran-laden team. And honestly, we've talked about this numerous times, Kevin, this week. I've always felt like through this season of chaos, the veteran-laden teams always had the advantage.
And Stady is one of them. Pulls down the Sottily miss. It's Georgia by 1, approaching the midway mark, first quarter. Winner to the Sweet 16. Adair Isaacs left her open and nails the jumper.
This is a much better start for Georgia than what they had in their first round game. They had a free throw to start, then 3 straight turnovers, and just really couldn't find the bottom of the rim throughout that first quarter, especially against the zone without Connolly. Joni Taylor's got to be ecstatic the way the offense is going.
That's Isaacs with the personal. Christy, it was a 5-point game at the start of the fourth quarter. They eventually defeated Drexel, but it was close for longer than most anticipated.
I mean, hats off to Drexel. I thought they did a great job of dribble penetration, kicking out for threes, and really had UGA chasing them. But Joni Taylor went to a big lineup, moving Jenna Stady to what you would consider a 4 facing up, and that really secured the win for the Lady Dogs.
Yeah, she ignited in that second half. You saw Isaacs go to the bench, make it 2 fouls on a sophomore from Georgia. Sedona Prince went for 12 and 7 in the win 2 days ago against South Dakota. Makes it a 1-point game again. So it's not Connolly, but Mallory Bates replaces Isaacs on the floor for Georgia. That's number 22, right at the free throw line. Stady. Oregon in a hurry, 3 in the air, short. Boley on it. Spin, fade, no.
Well, I think that's where Oregon's at their best. Just often misses, pushing tempo, but on the floor right now, it is Q Morrison pushing tempo for Georgia.
The senior always plays at a high level. Look at that, nearly a triple-double, bottom right, in that first round win. Wild layup, Prince got a hand on it. It's Georgia coming back the other way. And like you said, moving fast and looking sharp on the offensive end to start. 5 of 10 from the field thus far. A twisting layup, that's Coombs. Oregon ball. Nice start for the Lady Bulldogs.
Well, you want to rely on your seniors when it's tournament time. Q Morrison answers with the 2. UGA up 3.
NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And in part by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need.
No trip to San Antonio complete without a visit to the River Walk. Georgia, the Lady Bulldogs, had a chance to try the River Cruisers out. Look at these 4 seniors. You have been mentioning them thus far. Just the backbone, the centerpieces for Georgia's run to this point this year.
Absolutely. And Kevin, you and I've talked about it off air, like just how rare it is to have 4 seniors anymore in this transfer culture that we're in. And I do believe that's a direct result of why UGA's on a run. But for Oregon, you're always going to have a chance to make a run when you have someone like Sedona Prince on the floor. We talked about the screen and the roll action. Help side gets there a little bit too late. Block called.
Prince active early on. The sophomore from Liberty Hill, Texas, already with 6.
It's really scary to think about what a healthy Prince is going to look like in the next couple of years. This year, missed 5 games because of the ankle injury. Obviously sat out 2 years. recovering from another injury. She's really starting to find her groove now for Oregon on offense.
Started at Texas, of course, transferred to Oregon. Georgia 5 of 11 from the field to start. Jab step, Caldwell puts it on the deck. Difficult shot, nice defense from Boley. But it's Georgia who comes away with the offensive rebound.
Yeah, I think a key for Georgia against this 2-3 matchup is ball movement, obviously, but you see the middle of the zone. They've got to be able to either pass or get some dribble penetration to the middle of the paint and then look to kick out.
That was Connolly who hoisted it. Another 20 for Georgia. 3 offensive rebounds compared to just 1 for Oregon, but all of that work and you gave it away.
Well, we've talked about the length for the post players of Oregon, but the perimeter players, I mean, Shear, who just took that ball away, standing at 5'11", really active in that 2-3 matchup.
Shear, one of the 9 new faces this year for Oregon, has been a fresh roster, a feel to it this season, and still Oregon at 14-8 on the verge of getting back to the Sweet 16 for a 4th straight year. That's going to give the Lady Bulldogs possession. Remember, on Thursday, the quarterfinals of the NIT continue. NC State and Colorado State tip at 7, and that one's on ESPN. Yeah, and Christy, I understand the success, 31 wins last year for Oregon, but just considering the new faces, the transfers and freshmen on the roster, this team just looks a little better than it did towards the tail end of the regular season anyway.
Absolutely. You know, post-conference tournament to NCAA tournament, teams either take it up a notch or they struggle because they were on a flow and there's a break. Oregon's taking it up a notch. You could tell the couple of days of practice with a team that's now healthy. Obviously, they are missing Tahina Paopao in this game, but you could just see the reps that everyone's getting together to develop this chemistry on both ends of the floor, because it was their defense on Monday that really made a statement for the Ducks.
How about Shear again? The steal a few moments ago, and this time the block. Oh, Boley walked.
Well, I talked about Prince's upside, but these freshman perimeter players here, Shear with the block. Again, look out Pac-12, look out Nation, because once this team really gets going, I just think this team might have the most upside of anybody I've seen this season.
You mentioned Tahina Paopao. This fantastic freshman season she was having. No Paopao, and Jazz Shelley also out. Reliable role player for Oregon. And yet here we are, tied at 10. Stady offline. A minute to go in the first.
So now with Aaron Boley at the 4, you're seeing Maya Caldwell move over to the 4 for UGA to match up better with the Oregon Ducks.
Chavez just got smothered. Caldwell bounced it ahead. And nothing doing for Coombs.
And Kevin, I want to go back to talk about Oregon's offense. 9 new players, and we have to remember no preseason because of the pandemic. And it's almost impossible for you to develop that chemistry, much less learn a new system without those kind of reps, without non-conference games. Because remember, the Pac-12 was very heavy, almost all conference games only. And Kelly Graves telling us that they still didn't have training table. So when do these young ladies get together and develop that rapport? And so that's why I think probably being in Texas together for this extended period has really helped them on and off the court.
It makes that 10-7 record in league play that much more impressive considering all that. 6 seconds left. Stady, close range look. No time for a heave for Oregon. And the Lady Bulldogs take the 2-point edge into the second quarter. After 1 inside the Alamo Dome.
I am an extraordinary black woman. I rise. I reach. I am resolute. Unique. And unapologetically me. United we ball. United we win.
There's Joni Taylor in her 6th season as the head coach at Georgia. She's guided the Lady Bulldogs to their 3rd NCAA tournament under her watch. The SEC Coach of the Year. You know, and Christy, we just saw it a few weeks ago. I think it's still resonating. We saw the matchup of Georgia and South Carolina in that SEC title game. The two black head coaches, both Taylor and Dawn Staley. Just how significant was it at the time?
Yeah, I say it all year long. Representation matters, and it's remarkable. But honestly, because of the SEC, and I give administration so much credit, there are 7 black head coaches in the SEC. So when you do the numbers, it was probably going to happen because administrations have seen the potential of some of these young coaches. And to UGA's staff, who they basically bumped Joni Taylor up from her role as assistant coach when legendary head coach Andy Landers retired. Tremendous move. I think one that took a lot of guts at that time, but they saw who Joni Taylor was and what she could do with this program.
Just a fine season start to finish, the 21 wins, and then reach the SEC title game. How about Prince from deep? Left it short. Georgia by 2 after 1, winner to the Sweet 16.
Kevin, I was just going to say, Prince needs some offensive help right now. She's 2 of 3. The rest of the team 1 for 6 to this point in the game.
And this is an Oregon offense. Averages almost 75 points per game. There's the difference right there. Who is it, Boley?
That's who I just have so much respect for her game. She's obviously not on the floor at this moment. So I would like to see Mike Sell even get a touch here. Go a little 2-man action with her and Prince.
There's Prince. And just off balance on the jumper. Morrison, so quick in transition. And the senior's heading to the free throw line.
Yeah, Q Morrison only knows one speed, and that's all out. This young lady's motor is just remarkable.
Playing in her 107th game. Let's see, Shear back in for Oregon. Now, it's no surprise, I would think, with Morrison at the controls, the team that is ahead was the team that valued the ball a little better in that first quarter. 3 turnovers for Georgia and a very uncharacteristic 6 for the Ducks.
And uncharacteristic because when you talk about assist to turnover ratio, Oregon's ranked 13th in the country. They only turn the ball over 12 times a game entering today's matchup. And so we talked about it. Oregon's sureness with the ball versus UGA's disruptive defense, who would have the advantage. But I'll also say, give Oregon a little time to get acclimated because they are without their starting point guard.
Now here is Boley. Caldwell lowers the shoulder. Coombs tapped it back out, and Caldwell's right there. Now Georgia owning the offensive glass. That's now 5 for the Lady Bulldogs.
And a lot of it's just sheer effort. They're pursuing those rebounds. They're not waiting for them to come into their hands.
I like that move there from Morrison, and Stady the beneficiary.
But that's all Q Morrison. She gets her feet in the paint off the bounce, which forces the defense to come to her, leaving Stady wide open down low.
Oregon hasn't scored in close to 4 minutes now. This is Boley, who you spotlighted before. Oh, got the roll up in the air and then back through.
And whether Boley's playing more of a 4, setting some screens, or if she's the perimeter player, that's why I think she is so dangerous in any of the screen on the ball action.
Oh, just deadly the response from Connolly on this side, the senior from San Antonio, playing about 25 minutes away from where she went to high school.
And that's got to feel good for Gabby Connolly. She was scoreless in their game against Drexel, so I'm sure it's good for her to see the ball go through the go through the net as she's recovering from this injury. Gabby Conley, the senior, is basically saying, Darren Boley, anything you can do, I can match.
Now, Connolly, in essence, the most reliable three-point shooter on the roster, close to 40%. She's earned that reputation throughout her career. 185 from deep in her career. That three, book it. It's another one for Oregon, their third. Three-point game again.
And that was a miscue by the UGA defense, not getting out to the corner. Great job by Oregon to exploit.
It's the 1,000-point scorer, Taylor Mitesell. The call is Oregon ball. It almost looked like Morrison was going to get bailed out for a second. There were a couple ducks flailing at it, but it missed their arms. Back this way with 6:15 to go, second quarter. This is Sabally, a quiet first half. Boley wide open. That's good.
So I said that UGA is running that 1-3-1 defense on the out of bounds. Second straight time that there's a miscommunication by UGA, leaving a three-point shooter open for Oregon.
It's the special teams of basketball. You can convert right there. And now it's knotted up. Connolly had it poked from behind. Well, credit Shear, who has been impressive on the defensive end. She knocked that one loose. This freshman at times doesn't play like one.
Well, Shear's got long arms, anticipates well. She's just so active defensively.
Sabally, all sorts of frustrations in the first half, but she might have gotten whacked in the face. It's a foul anyway.
Sabali's just a matchup issue for any team because she's physical, has great hands, great footwork, and there draws the foul. I'm glad she got up. I was nervous when she went down.
And I wonder, is this a scenario? Nope, it's going to be history now. Oh, a wild pass. This could be an easy two for Georgia. And that's Michaela Coombs.
When off the make, you see UGA immediately pick up into the full court defense.
Wow, that was Morrison. Eighth turnover for Oregon. Its season average about 12. Sabally with the board after the Bates miss.
Bates has her match, just slung it over to Joni Taylor.
Away. Well, she got rid of it. Prince was in position to clean up the board. It got ripped off, and you're right, she was holding it, backpedaling on D before it was a clean catch, it looked like, from Joni Taylor as well.
And Joni Taylor was quite the player at Alabama in her day, so still got the great hands. The last time down, I love the post-to-post action in the offense by UGA. They just couldn't convert.
So Bates post-mask 0 for 1 from the field.
Now you got Sabally having to adjust her knee brace. These players are going at one another right now.
The pace has felt very physical at times. Morrison, or rather Caldwell, all over Boley. Sedona Prince got caught underneath, but a whistle. And she's got free throws when we return. The connection. Player to coach in transition. Bates says, coach, grab my back here. I can't use the mask. All knotted up at 21.
The NCAA Women's Championship, presented by Capital One, is brought to you by Duracell Optimum.
The 6'7" Sedona Prince getting up there in warm-ups. Christy, what makes me think that she does this a lot, no one reacts to it. Not a single teammate. Like, yeah, whatever. She must do that often.
As we're sitting here watching it pregame, none of you reacted to it. I was the only one that reacted to it. So impressive.
Yeah,
very
you were
impressive
our
by the
eyes.
young lady.
Good catch. The redshirt sophomore from Liberty Hill, Texas. Started as a Longhorn, of course, transferred here to Oregon. It just has been off the court in a sense the last couple of years. The sit-out year, plus missed that entire year in Austin. Now Kelly Graves, he was playing the two bigs lately. You think it's worked for Oregon?
Absolutely, because I think what's happened now is Jenna Stady has been put on Prince, and that's a really tough matchup because of Prince's ability to create off the bounce. And now we're seeing for the first time Maury Davenport in for UGA.
In transition, score it, and Sabali's at the line.
We talk about UGA wanting to get out and run, but this is one of your post players running the floor. Sabali drawing the contact, soft touch at the basket, great hands, and the finish.
Oregon's run 11-2. From down 6 to ahead by 3. This is Davenport, who you mentioned, lost it. Oregon has a chance to extend the run. Zabali, one-on-one matchup. Fights for it, Caldwell comes away.
I don't know how Caldwell got that stop, got that rebound, because I thought Sabali had her dead to rights because she just had the 2 feet seal. Great job to stay with the defense.
It was able to peel herself off the floor quickly to get that one. It was trying to take the charge. The Oregon defense standing tall the last few minutes. Davenport off balance, swish.
Well, the Rutgers transfer, Joni Taylor told me early in the season, the original plan before the NCAA granted everybody eligibility was just to help develop her this entire season. So then she said, we'll use her, just here and there sporadically. And then the young lady came off the bench at Tennessee to really get them back in the game and lead them to the upset victory. And so she's got spot minutes here, but you've seen her development improve throughout the season.
She's guarding Sabali, lost it, trying to spin back to the right hand. Caldwell on the pull-up.
So Oregon's run, in my opinion, translated to them being able to score, but also get back and get in that 2-3 matchup. And that was given Georgia fits in terms of scoring against the set zone.
Morrison, fourth gear, in the lane.
You're saying fourth gear? Not fifth?
Well, she has a gear that not many have, I think. A minute to go till half. And then we will send you to our AT&T 5G at the half with Maria, Rebecca, and Andy. They'll go over how the Terps just demolished Alabama earlier. What do you think? Right stake? Are they going to keep it going? Gaudier test today.
That's, Missouri State is tough. That's a, wow. I'm going to give you that answer in the second half. I just want to think on that one before I just call that one right now.
The first, or the lowest seeded team, I should say, that's advanced to the round of 32 in nearly a decade.
And you've heard my philosophy on this. I really believe this is nothing against the upsets, but I think having the neutral site has only helped that. I'm not sure we'd see it otherwise.
That's a big triple from Sabali. The Ducks retake the lead. Entertaining second quarter. Georgia went ahead by 6. Oregon responded with an 11-2 run. It's a one-possession game. Ball's in Morrison's hands, 10 seconds till half. Winner to the Sweet 16 in the Alamo region. Coombs has to go to work. Hoy spanks it in before the buzzer. And we've got a tie score at half. Coombs finished with 6. It was a balanced scoring attack for the Lady Bulldogs. Boy, this second half should be a fun one. Let's go to the studio. Here is Maria. Sedona Prince had 7 of her 10 in that opening quarter for Oregon. The 10 turnovers, uncharacteristic of the Ducks. They only average about 12 per game. I'll say this. This is the third meeting between these two. The last time they played was 25 years ago. And then in 1983, Georgia won both of those games by 17 and 25. I think the margin of victory is going to be a lot tighter this time around based on the way both played in the first half.
Absolutely, and considering none of these young ladies were born 25 years ago, I think it's a brand new ball game here.
You remember that one from December of '96? I remember it like it was yesterday. Here we go, second half. Sweet 16 berth on the line, and the winner is going to play next weekend. Sabali gets the first look of the opening possession. It rolls out, a good box out. Georgia ball.
Well, Kevin, that was something you and I talked about in the first half. It's just how hard both these teams were working to keep one another off the offensive glass. Game is close. We've talked about that. It's going to come down to possessions. Which team can take care of the ball and who can create some extra scoring opportunities by second chance points.
18-footer hits not just the side, the top of the side backboard. Sabali seals off the defender.
She is so strong, yet has such great hands to hold defenders. And we've seen it a couple times now where UGA is trying to come around and knock that ball loose because they know if she gets it, they're buried and she's going to score.
Well, Sabali, you see there just the 7 points. How did Georgia defend her? She had some frustrations in that first half.
Well, I think they were really active, and like I just said, they tried to come around and knock those passes away as Isaacs gets on the board with that little reverse layup. Again, I think if Sabali wants the ball, she's going to get the ball. That's just how much faith I have in this young lady's skill set.
The sophomore from Berlin leads Oregon in points per game plus rebounds per game. It's all alone. It's just her and Isaacs. Isaacs jars it away. And a loose ball foul goes against, it appears to be Sabali.
Sabali only has 2 fouls in the game, and both have been offensive calls. Good catch by the official there. As she was going for the loose ball, she did displace Jordan Isaacs.
From that angle, you certainly understand it, no question. 2 fouls on Sabali. Neither team has anybody in foul trouble. Only one player aside with 2. Nobody with 3 personals yet. The winner faces Louisville or Northwestern. That game following us. Stady keeps the pivot foot, but not for long. Threw it away.
Well, look at how low all 5 black jerseys are. Just daring UGA to beat them from the outside. Great finding Prince on the run out for the 2.
Isaacs.
So, Kevin, UGA has had a couple of shot attempts now in this third quarter. You almost feel like they're rushing to get those shots off. Is the length of the post players of Oregon starting to affect them?
I mentioned, Chrissy, the Sweet 16 begins next Saturday. It does for the men as well. March Madness rolls on TBS and CBS next weekend. You know, Oregon has a chance to join its men's program in its respective Sweet 16. We've got Baylor and Michigan have both officially advanced to both the men's and women's Sweet 16. And will Oregon and UCLA perhaps join their counterparts next weekend? Already 12 turnovers for Oregon. Prince. Oh, some sweet moves on the baseline today. Now 14.
And we know Prince is 6'7". Jenna Stady's 6'4". But that little fadeaway to create even additional space to knock it down, that was just a thing of beauty.
He already has that long wingspan, the 6'7" post player. Morrison turned away by Prince.
Speaking of wingspan,
Meitzel can't get the roll this time. That was an effortless looking block. Four-point lead for the Ducks, trailed by as many as 6 in the first half. One dribble, Coombs, no. And that's the largest lead, by the way, that 6-point Georgia advantage for either team. Caldwell jarred it away momentarily.
I mean, honestly, Kevin, the way UGA is struggling in the half court to score, they've got to be able to turn Oregon over to create some of those easy scoring opportunities. Well, I said how scary a healthy Sedona Prince is, and it's on full display. The little face-up fadeaway over UGA, and then matches it on the defensive end with the block.
Yeah, she's been scoring a bit more of late. Double figures now in 8 of her last 11. Stepping up for Oregon when it matters. Stady now trying to go to work on Prince. She gets whistled for the foul.
And honestly, I thought Prince might have a steal there because of that wingspan. Yet again, she was able to get a piece of the pass into Stady, but Stady gathered it in and went strong to the hole.
I thought the dunk was impressive enough pregame. Going off for 14 to lead the way for Oregon. Stady now with 5. ESPN News coverage of the men's ice hockey Frozen Four continues. Regional semifinals on Friday. Starts with Michigan and Minnesota Duluth, 4 Eastern, ESPNU. And when you hear that tune, you know hockey on ESPN. That's Boley.
Foley's just so smooth, and you're seeing, we talked about the youth of Oregon, but that's the veteran, and that was a veteran shot right there that she knocked down.
Morrison lost it. Shear again with the sleight of hand. And Meitzel for 2.
Shear doesn't have a lot in the stat column at this point in the game, but she is one of those MVPs right now for the Ducks because she has anchored this defense and has disrupted the perimeter players of UGA.
The 10-4 Oregon run has the Ducks out to their largest advantage of the day. Good luck to Stady.
Beautiful pass by Jordan Isaacs.
Isaacs now with 3 assists. Inside of 4 minutes, third quarter. And we still haven't had a stoppage yet. And the pace has been tenacious at times in this quarter. A whistle stops the Georgia break. And Joni Taylor saying, "You're kidding me." It's Oregon by 4 in the third.
The NCAA Women's Championship, presented by Capital One, is brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need.
Late in the third, prior sequence before our timeout. What happened here, Christy?
Well, the official, I'm assuming, thought that there was a kick there where Shear raises her leg up. As we could see in that replay, there was no contact, and Joni Taylor's disappointed because she believed that was going to be 2 points in transition.
Boy, that got a fraction, a fiber of the sneaker. Razor close. It stopped the break, which would have led to 2 for Georgia. Still have it. Down by 4. Winner heads to the Sweet 16 to face Louisville or Northwestern. That's the 4th Georgia turnover this quarter. Sabali fights back forward and banks it in. A little bit of a wild shot after the near turnover. No problem.
But the strength, Kevin, the strength to pull that through and then just go up strong with a shot. The strength and the touch, I should say.
And now Niara Sabali with 9. Wide open 3. Connolly missed everything. And by the way, that game that I just referenced follows us. Northwestern, Louisville, tips at 5 Eastern right here on ESPN2. Again, the winners of these 2 games square off in the Sweet 16 next weekend, and it'll be either Saturday or Sunday. The dates and times not yet been released. Now, that game is on the Alamo Dome court number 2. Here's the setup inside the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, the site of the national championship game. Not 1, but 2. That's a lot of black curtain there.
Well, it is a dome. Let's not forget that. But, I mean, as a basketball fan, I'm just cringing right now because how nice would it be just to walk from court to court and catch this stuff in live.
A most unique women's NCAA championship, but one that is happening nonetheless after the 1 year absence, if you will. We're so close to crowning a national champion. And a credit to everybody. You talked about Joni Taylor's family. A credit and a major salute to the players, coaches, administrators, officials, everybody involved that sacrifice all year. And Joni Taylor, her family is here, you mentioned, but she only gets to wave at them from time to time here in the building, of course. She's away from the family, as are all the players and coaches as well, staying together and isolated in their respective bubbles, if you will.
And there you see Joni Taylor's family, husband Darius, daughter JC, as well as Drew. And yeah, she said, I get to see them when I walk out, and the most I get to close to them is a wave. But she said, you know, they're happy. The family rented a house for them just to have some space and roam around while they're in San Antonio. And again, Joni's in that tier 1 part of the bubble, so no, her family's not allowed in. And I think it goes across the board to all of these women who have children. You know, they're just not with them right now. And so, again, as to your point, Kevin, just another sacrifice for us to be able to play this game.
Both teams have gone a little cold the last few minutes. The score remains Oregon 39, Georgia 33. Taylor Chavez picks up the dribble.
Because I got to believe it's advantage Oregon as this pace has slowed down and it's half-court oriented. As we say, they can go inside, they can go out, a lot of screen on the ball action, or Araboli just put the ball on the floor and take it strong to the rim.
If that's Isaacs, and indeed, yes, 4 fouls on the sophomore from Alpharetta, Georgia, who started all 27 games this year for the Lady Bulldogs.
And Joni Taylor's inserted Caitlin Hosen in the game. One of their better three-point shooters, came in against Drexel when the offense was struggling, knocked down 2 big threes, kind of righted the ship. The offense got their mojo going, and then obviously UGA went on to win. But you can just tell right now, UGA has to do something to be able to loosen up this 2-3 matchup zone. I mean, you see the front line of that zone just backing off, trying to take away the passing lanes into the post.
And Georgia 2 of 9 from the field this quarter. Morrison rips through, another turnover.
You know, and it should be noted, we talked about the injury to Gabby Connolly, so I'm sure Sarah Ashley Barker, one of their top freshmen and one of their better three-point shooters, didn't make the trip as well. So when it comes to your zone busters, they're not available to help this UGA offense right now.
Caldwell and Morrison have really given Boley some trouble today. They've been all over her. Into the paint, jump stop, Shear's layup off the mark. Second chance for Oregon. The shot clock didn't expire, or didn't reset, I should say. That shot from Shear never wound up hitting the rim. And so Georgia gets the possession with 6 seconds left in the quarter. Michaela Coombs stays here, 0.7.
And they're running Jenna Stady in, so you got to imagine they're going to try for a little lob to her right now. I love the Oregon defense right now. Watch the lob.
Christie, Oregon takes its largest lead of the day into the fourth quarter, 10 minutes away from its 4th straight trip to the Sweet 16.
I lady so much. I love her. Out of all she do for me, the least I can do is go out there and play my heart out.
Georgia's the top dog tonight. The Lady Bulldogs are going to the SEC Tournament Championship.
I get emotional because we had a certain way that we wanted to build this program in terms of culture and the type of people, and those girls play with their heart.
That respect and admiration between player and coach, it's significant. So here's Georgia. It went from 14 losses, 9th in the SEC last year, to 21 wins. Its highest seed in this tournament in 14 years. They need a run here in the fourth quarter, trailing by 7. And another turnover. You see the difference.
Enough about Oregon's defense. That back line has been perfect in terms of their execution of the game plan. They're staying home. They're disrupting any passing lanes into the post.
The Oregon defense held Georgia to 2 of 9 shooting in that third quarter. They forced 5 turnovers. It was tied at 27, remember, at half. You can even look back furthermore. Georgia had a 6-point lead in the second quarter. It has just slowly trended towards the Ducks since then. And Kelly Graves is so close to guiding another Oregon team for a 4th straight year to the Sweet 16. Great rebound, and then the pass, wrapping it around the defenders. Stady was open on the other side.
What Kelly Graves has done at Oregon has just been remarkable. Totally rebuild and consistent challenger now, not just for the Sweet 16, but for national championships. He recruits well, he develops talent. And speaking of talent, Jenna Stady with the miss, no problem. Maya Caldwell cleans it up and gives her another try. The effort of Q Morrison on the ball defense right now.
Wide open, Mike Sell. Layup is down. Caldwell contorting in the air. Nice find from Morrison. Back-to-back buckets for Georgia.
But long rebound from the 3 allows UGA to get out in transition.
Good timeout by Kelly Graves.
So when you're struggling in the half court to score, you want to try to score off your defense or long rebounds. Here, Q Morrison with the feed to Maya Caldwell for the kiss off the glass.
Salt Lake City native, the 2-time Pac-12 Coach of the Year, plus 8-time West Coast Conference Coach of the Year. Hey, good news for his current freshman, Tahina Paopao. When you play for Kelly Graves, you may wind up a professional. That's what happened for Courtney Vandersloot and Sabrina Ionescu. And look at what they did in their freshman years, though.
So it's not just about recruiting. It's also developing and coaching these young ladies up. And I mean, Kelly's won everywhere. I think sometimes because he's been so good at Oregon, we forget just what a run he had at Gonzaga before he left to take over the Ducks program.
A lot of good-looking action today on the offensive side for Oregon. Sedona Prince now with 16, and the Ducks shooting 42% from the field. They've been efficient.
Well, another example of great coaching. Out of the timeout, tremendous execution, opening Prince up off the back screen for the easy 2.
Excellent possession to break up the Lady Bulldogs, run. They had scored 4 straight before the Graves timeout. NCAA Women's Championship inside the Alamo Dome. This is the site of the title game. Winner to the Sweet 16 next weekend to face either Louisville or Northwestern. Sabali faces up. Javen Nicholson, who hasn't played much today, on her. Forces the kick-out pass. Shot clock violation anyway. A little bit of a scramble there for both Stady and Prince. But it's Georgia ball.
And that seems so simple, but what should have been an easy defensive rebound for Jenna Stady was nothing but because of the length of Sedona Prince. Almost was able to keep it alive for Oregon.
How valuable has she, what's her impact been like on today's game?
Well, you've seen them try to get the low post entry pass to Jenna Stady, and she's disrupted that a couple times. Again, it's her wingspan, and she's able also, because of her great footwork, she can move around to almost get into that passing lane to disrupt it as well. We obviously remember the block shot. That time, unfortunately, I think she's going to get called for the foul.
Well, even right there, erasing an easy 2, making her earn it at the free throw line. Stady with the 10 points. It's a far cry from the 19 that she scored when she started heating up in the second half against Drexel.
Well, the big difference is she got open looks against Drexel. Some trail threes, high post shots. Nothing has come easy for Jenna Stady here today.
I mentioned that championship game, April 4th. Tip time, 6 Eastern on ESPN, right here inside the Alamo Dome. 6 different courts, 5 locations in the San Antonio and Austin areas in a couple of weeks. Title game right here inside the Alamo Dome. Oh, they're going to whistle Mike Sell for the offensive foul, maybe swinging the left arm. You know, we've seen this a couple times today, that call.
Q Morrison, again, it's subtle. Yes, by the letter of the rule, it should be called.
You know, we were talking about this a moment ago, and that there is certainly the emphasis, right, from the official perspective to watch for the arm. You think, though, there's sometimes in the middle of the paint, there's a lot more contact that goes uncalled for than that. Here's Stady. Mid-post jumper is through.
I think, honestly, some of those calls are also the result of just UGA's on-ball pressure defense. They are so up and in you that the perimeter's just trying to create a little space, and it's almost just a natural reaction. I'm sure these perimeter players aren't even thinking they're doing it in the moment.
It was Mike Sell who went tumbling. Sabali right into the defender Nicholson, who is logging some key minutes on the defensive side in this quarter. Stady has it back to a 1-point game.
Well, UGA has depth in the post position. They can go 6 deep there. They all provide a little something different, as Kelly Graves is going to call timeout.
Uses his second timeout this quarter.
UGA starts with the defense, and that allows them to get out and run in transition. Coombs to Stady for 2.
The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And in part by Duracell Optimum.
Here's the Riverwalk region. We are all square here. We have our Sweet 16 matchups. It's Baylor, Michigan, but look at that one at the top. Saturday or Sunday, it will be UConn or Iowa meeting. I'd ask, who would you take in a game of one-on-one? We'll find out in about 6 days between these two.
So a game of one-on-one, if they're going to 11, I'm going to say, if it's make it, take it, one might only have 11 possessions, because that's how these two young ladies can light it up in a hurry. Caitlin Clark, unlimited range. Paige Bakers, we've seen all season long, and here's what I love about both of them. Look at that second row. They don't just score, but they are efficient, and these are two freshmen. You very rarely see that kind of production, but more so that kind of efficiency.
Do you say efficient? Sedona Prince, 18 points today, and that turnaround J has looked fresh. One and done possession for Georgia.
You know, I know that this is a very young Ducks team, but hats off to them. 2 times now, Kelly Grace has called timeout. 2 times this team has come out and executed to perfection.
These programs are no stranger to the Sweet 16. Oregon has reached that stage and advanced further each of the last 3 tournaments. Georgia's been there dozens of times, yet it hasn't made it out of the round of 32 in 8 years. Kelly Graves' squad ahead by 3, approaching the midway mark of the 4th quarter. High post, low post, Nicholson got it blocked.
So I love Jenna Sadie at the high post because of her shooting ability. The problem now with Javin Nicholson going low is she is only 6'2" against the 6'7" Prince. Hence, Prince getting that block.
Georgia catches a break. 8 to shoot, Coombs. Caldwell, spin, head fake, difficult shot. Nicholson had a chance, a look, and it's Skady who gets the fortuitous bounce. And Georgia's leading scorer starting to get cooking here in the 4th quarter. Now 8 for her in this quarter.
Effort makes a lot of good things happen for you. That time, that play just looked blown up by Oregon, but UGA stayed with it. Coombs picking the pocket, going down for 2.
First lead for Georgia since the 2nd quarter. Prince won't miss that close. 20 points for the Texan.
Credit Prince. She knew she was open before she even stepped in the paint and started calling for the ball.
Having a brilliant game, one of the best of her career. 20 points, 3 blocks. Cross-court feed, Morrison. Stady. Nicholson fouled. Good body control to keep the pivot foot. It's going to get 2 free throws here.
I mean, Javin Nicholson is making her impact on this game on both ends of the floor. Their second offensive rebound. I'm not sure she kept that pivot foot down, Kevin, but the officials called the foul.
That is a very good break for Georgia. We were tied at half. Oregon went up by as many as 7 late in the 3rd. And now we're tied. Intense battle 7 ties, 7 lead changes. 3:20 to go. Winner plays next weekend. Loser, season over. Prince, oh, just devouring the Georgia Bigs today. 22.
She's wanting the ball, she's getting the ball, and she is scoring the ball.
8 straight for Oregon, for Prince. On Stady. Rebound, Sabali, and Nicholson. Oh, you're right on. An excellent 4th quarter for the sophomore from Georgia. She's got it. Lady Bulldogs down 2. Stady, tie game.
Stady gets the bucket, but that entire possession is because of the effort of Javin Nicholson.
You've got to go to number 32 here, right?
Absolutely.
Instead, Shear, Sabali. Oh, she was wide open at the rim.
That's what we said, right? Get Sabali at the rim. That's what they should do. That's what you and I were talking about. I mean, I'm beyond impressed with Shear here this afternoon. Just her decision-making against a really tough defense of UGA.
Off the bounce, Caldwell. And is there a foul before the shot? I think Caldwell was just saying, no, please. She nails the jumper, and it looks like a foul on the floor on Oregon.
And the foul did occur on the floor. The problem was Carla Fountain couldn't get her whistle to her mouth. It had fallen out within her mask. And so I saw her fumble to get it up. Unfortunately for Maya Caldwell, she continues on and knocks it down, but basket's waved off.
Great catch. Oh, but a turnover. So keep in mind, 4 team fouls now on Oregon. Georgia to the line with bonus free throws on the next personal foul. Prince with a career-high 22. Sabali, second chance, turn and score. Less than 90 seconds. Georgia by 4. A wild layup. Combs can't get it to go.
And I got to believe now, unless they get an open look early in the shot clock, Oregon's going to be very content to work some of this clock.
Q Morrison whistled for the personal.
I know Q Morrison's upset with that call, but honestly, if you're going to stop the clock and extend this game right now, you need to commit a couple of these fouls. That was just the first foul for UGA of the half, of the quarter.
4 more would be bonus free throws for Georgia. They got a chance to play it out here. Eight seconds to shoot. Sabali. Got it. It's a takeover for Sabali late. 51.6 to go, and Georgia's back ahead by 2 scores.
Well, Sabali, I've said, just a difficult matchup because she's not just tall, she's physical, and she's got perimeter skills. Here, taking it from the high post, going hard, having the impact of the defender, but also the soft touch to lay it in.
Well, it is a post takeover. Sabali and Prince with all of Oregon's 14 points in the quarter. Georgia had a lead a few minutes ago, but the Ducks now back ahead by 6. 2 timeouts for Oregon, 3 remaining for Georgia. The possession arrow favors the Ducks. So you've got 49 seconds left. Georgia, they don't need to start going crazy with threes. They need buckets.
Absolutely. So sideline out of bounds here. I'm going to be surprised if UGA's not putting the ball on the floor, trying to attack and get to the rim or pull help side to kick to a weak side low post. But they need to go quick here, get the score, and then I wouldn't even be surprised if a timeout's called by UGA to set up the defense.
Taylor has 3 timeouts. Coombs. Caldwell fell, diving for the basketball, and it's Oregon ball. 41.6 left. Stady grabbing her left arm after the collision a moment ago. And so there is the timeout by Georgia, but it is an empty possession.
Well, and I think this is where UGA is missing Gabby Conley on the floor. That play's usually run for her to wrap around for a three. Obviously, against that matchup zone that Oregon's run all day long, they've missed Gabby Conley's three-point production. There you see Associate Head Coach Karen Lang, who's the special in-the-game situation coach for UGA. This allows Joni Taylor to focus on the bigger picture in game as Karen makes the play calls down the stretch.
So you see, 1 second was just removed from the shot clock, 41.6, so that's about a 12-second differential. What is being diagrammed, because it's a two-score game, you can't really afford for all 29 to go off the clock here.
No, UGA has to foul here. They've got to try to make Oregon miss from the free throw line. The hard part now is how much time is going to go off by the time they get to that fifth foul of the quarter.
Just one team foul on the Lady Bulldogs. It's kind of a win-win here in a sense for Georgia. You can be as aggressive as possible because you need to foul.
Well, honestly, try to get the 5-second count first and foremost, because time is of the essence for UGA. And then if that doesn't happen, then yeah, you're going for that steal, and then you're looking to foul.
This is a difficult angle. Oregon only has one timeout left. Prince very strong with it. The possession arrow, remember, favors Oregon, so even a tie-up, the Ducks still keep it.
Honestly, if I'm Oregon, I get all the other perimeter players to the weak side of the floor and have Prince run to the ball and just throw it up high for her. Use that 6'7" wingspan to your advantage.
She's got it. That's the fourth Georgia team foul. One more to go to send the Ducks to the free throw line. All in all, about 5 or 6 seconds are going to come off the clock since the Ducks regained possession. Sabali to the line, a 62% free throw shooter.
I gotta believe this one's going to go with
That's
Prince.
the fourth. Yep, that's
because
only the fourth
Prince is
team
the
foul.
better. Yeah, Prince is the better free throw shooter between Sabali and herself.
Tipped, Morrison. And Georgia's going to take it. And it's bonus free throws for Morrison. The senior, in the nick of time, makes the play.
Well, fitting that it's defense where UGA is allowed to get to the free throw line, and even more so that it's Q Morrison on the ball that forces that turnover and draws the foul. And Gabby Conley's loving it from the sideline.
%86 from the stripe. When Georgia absolutely needed it, they got the takeaway. How much time can you afford before the foul after the timeout?
It's 2 possessions. I think you got to foul. Again, go for the steal first because you've been active, you've been disruptive, but if you don't get it, you're fouling immediately because with the way that Oregon's been able to move the ball, especially with the height, you don't want to allow time to go off and allow them to get a slip to the bucket.
Boy, Oregon trailed for much of the early portion of the game. Tied things up at half. Took as large as a 7-point lead in the third quarter. Georgia came storming back, but it's the Ducks by 4. 32.6 left, and a trip to the Sweet 16 on the line. Georgia has all 3 of its timeouts. Oregon, none. Possession arrow Ducks.
And so that's another reason if I'm UGA, I want to foul immediately because even if they make it, you're just trying to extend this game. UGA has the benefit of calling that timeout. Then if you score, now it's full court pressure. Now it allows your speed to be a little bit more of to work your speed a little bit more to your advantage.
Oregon, 4 players have scored all 54, and this duo inside, Sabali and Prince, have combined for 37. Still plenty of work to do. 32.6 left.
And credit Kelly Graves for going big here in the NCAA tournament. And boy, has it paid off here today.
Morrison whistled for that foul. And it's Taylor Mikesell, who's missed one free throw all year. 21 of 22 at the stripe.
And yet again, Oregon executes so well out of the timeout. You get your best free throw shooter the ball because you know UGA is going to foul.
Oh.
That's on you, Kevin Fitzgerald, for jinxing her.
No jinxes. Broadcast, that's not a thing. 31.5 left. It'll be at most a 5-point lead for Oregon. And Joni Taylor uses her second timeout. What a battle we got in the Alamo region. Coming up, Indiana, Belmont, BYU, Arizona. Those two on ESPNU later today. You see Texas making their way into the building. They face UCLA later tonight at 9. Before them, Texas A&M and Iowa State at 7. Both of those games on ESPN2. Remember, after us, we'll get you to Louisville and Northwestern. The winners of those two games, this one and the one that follows us, will square off next week in the Sweet 16. So who's Georgia turning to?
Well, it looks like they just subbed Gabby Connolly back in the game, as well as Caitlin Hose, two of your better three-point shooters. I'm not going to be surprised if they run the same play as before. They're trying to go baseline dribble penetration, and Gabby Connolly wrapping around behind for the three.
Connolly, two hands in her face, has to give it up. 25 seconds. Georgia down 5, a heave. Prince got her hands on it. Rebound down to Caldwell, still free. Last touch by Georgia. We're going to take a peek at this one most likely with 16.1 to go. Take a look.
We're reviewing the out of bounds call. The call on the floor is black ball. We review it.
It might have been Hose that got the last touch. Watch number 10 in white. There she touches it.
Oh.
And I don't see Mikesell touch it after that.
Look at this, razor close.
Credit to the official for getting it right in the moment. Here we are in slow-mo watching it countless times to make sure we're getting it right.
A fingernail on the basketball there, Caitlin Hose. I think you're right. It looks like this crew, Decanter, Carla Fountain, Tyler Trimble, they might have nailed it right on the spot. Remember, there's 16.1 left. And if it remains Oregon basketball, Georgia's going to have to foul immediately. Well, how good has this game been? Intense, compelling. Players making plays on both sides.
Absolutely. And honestly, these teams executing what their coaches have asked, especially at the timeouts for Oregon. And you can't say enough about UGA responding to some of these Oregon runs. I think the key here is, do they have one last response to try to get this game tied up?
After a review, the ruling on the floor is confirmed. Black ball. We're correcting the clock to 16.5.
Christie, Georgia took a lead at the 4:21 mark of this quarter. Oregon has outscored the Lady Bulldogs 11-5 since then. 5-point advantage.
And Kevin, I'm going to expect UGA to sell out trying to get the 5-second call here with the stillness inbound. So watch maybe Oregon try to go long with a pass. Nope, they just get it into Mikesell.
And it's sheer to Mikesell.
Just another example of Sheer just making so many good decisions. Freshman, just her third start here today. And from a defensive perspective as well as offense, she's been huge for the Ducks.
I don't know if I would bet on her going 1 of 2 from the stripe again. Was 21 out of 22 entering this one. And Georgia, in essence, needs it for it to remain a 2-score game. If this goes to 3 possessions with 15.5, maybe only a matter of time. Oregon by 7, 15.5 left. This is Morrison. Georgia's got to get something up and fast. Who touched it last? Oregon ball, 8.5 remaining. Georgia won't foul. Oregon does it again to the Sweet 16 for a 4th straight year. Christy, no surprise, the Capital One rewarding performance goes to the Texan right there, Sedona Prince.
Well, it's a good thing that she is staying in Texas because this young lady had a heck of a game. She did it off the screen and the roll. She was active on the glass. Her defense disrupted. Her length was on full display in all facets of the game. Sedona Prince came up big for the Ducks here today.